Let's go. Welcome to the show. Say nah. Welcome, guys. It's the one and only Addict to Invest. Help you figure out this financial mess. Let's get straight to it. It's been a minute since we've been on YouTube. On the Tubi of the YouTube. We're gonna get straight to it. Straight to it. So first things first, if your first time tuning in, what do we do? All right, especially for people that's on this TikTok. Welcome. I am Addict to Invest. There's a page out there that's trying to be me. And you believe it. I'm so flattered. Um so I say that to say I have to go ahead and I start going live on this page. But first things first, once again, if you already have tapped in with me before, especially in the class of 2023s, a couple of y'all that's still rocking out, want to let you know that the one and only I am back, better than ever, is trying to go ahead and teach you guys how to trade. You don't need a lot of money to trade. You need to know what to trade and what to look for. So, without further ado, this is where we go ahead and the Black Panthers of Crypto on Wall Street. The Discord is very small. Once again, it's all about not only you going ahead and being in the Discord, but you taking the information. Let's be honest. A lot of you feel like trading is hard. A lot of you feel like, oh my God, I gotta trade on the day. That's a lie. Once again, tap in with me. You could trade futures. Right now, we're looking at, the stock market is XPX. What's XPX? It's like the cousin to one of the bigger indexes of the S&P 500. Okay, so this ticker, once again, what you're looking at is TradingView. Is a platform that we go ahead and we have to use to look at the charts. Do not think this is intimidating. All right, it's intimidating because you don't know what you're looking at. But once you get down to it, it shouldn't be that hard. So first things first, let you know what we're looking at. We have data today. When it came towards economic data, it will go ahead and kind of, shake up the market a little bit. Now, if you were happen to be part of our Discord, we go ahead and we provide trades to help you understand how to trade options. What is options? It's another way to trade. Most people, when it comes towards stocks, they know of buying the share, holding the share for profit, or losing out in the share if the stock price goes down. Well, with options, we can make money whether the stock price goes up or the price goes down. And that's pretty much where we're at in regards towards playing options. If the price goes up, then the trade that we want will be a call. If the price goes down, then the trade we want will be a put. All right. If you're tapping in, let me know where you're tapping in from. I can see the comments on my other device. So, first things first, you do not trade these tickers SPY, XPX, QQQ. It's indexes. What are those? Once again, indexes. Why do people like to trade them? Because they print money. Excuse me, guys. Ooh. So first things first. What is VIX? VIX is your volatility index. It lets us know in regards to how volatile the market could be. So when I teach all the cousins is that if you look up VIX, you can look it up in TradingView. You would go to your broker. If you use Robinhood, literally put VIX. That's volatility index. That VIX will let us know exactly and give us an idea of where we're going when it comes towards XPX, SPY, and QQQ. So if VIX is up, meaning that as long as this go up, we're going to be coming down when it comes towards SPY, QQQ, XPX. Okay, As long as that is up, once again, we'll go down in SPY, SPX, QQQ. When this goes down, VIX goes down, then we go up in SPY, XPX, QQQ. That is your cheat code. All right. Once again, write that down. When you look at VIX and if VIX goes up, then that means SPY, XPX, QQQ will go down, and vice versa. If VIX is going down, then you could bet for sure XPX, SPY, and QQ will be going up. So as of right now, we're at 1665. You know, we've only been open since 9:30. We have 3 minutes since we get that 30-minute candle. And this could make sense with my drawings. So far, this high, I think this week has been 1720 or around there. 1699. All right. Give me a second, guys. All right, so XPX already went under the previous daily low. 6400 has been like key area. And we talked about that in our Discord yesterday. So the 6400, if we go ahead and if we continue down, this is on a 1 hour, it's a bigger time frame. The support. All right. So once again, 30 minutes into the market. Personally speaking, especially I have did this with the Discord before, I don't like to get in a trade before 10 o'clock. And I have on my, I do go ahead and I really emphasize the importance of journaling your trades, writing down what you do in regards towards your trading. There's a misconception that you have to trade every day during the day. That is not the case in my opinion. You should trade when there's a trend. Especially we talking about XPX and SPY. So what's going on is as I go ahead and I look at VIX, like I said, VIX is at 1647. Will VIX go ahead and will VIX get to back to 1699 and 1720? If so, then I know that we're going to go ahead and continue to drop. If not, and we drop to like 1630 and maybe even 16, that means there's opportunity for the upside for XPX. Why would there be opportunity for the upside? Because if we drop from 1677 to 1630, even to like 16, I think. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah. So even with that, $45, 30, 15, 5, 3. So, when it comes to an XPX, I like to go what's called make or break. So, if we lose 357, 63.57, then I will be interested in the downside on XPX or somewhere around that area. Well, let me not say that. 63.57 for me would be an indication that we are going to continue down. All right, because we are under the previous daily low. Now, what's going to happen there? I'll make this a white line. I would kind of use that as my like understanding that if I hit 63.57.40, I could definitely hit 63.43. Now the thing is, 63.43 is a support. It's the floor. It could bounce. The 63.57.40 is support. It's the floor. It could bounce too. But that's like an idea of saying, all right, I know that if I see 63.57.40, I can continue down. I'm not going to jump the gun, but understand that after that, it could be the 63.43 area that I will continue going down. Now, if that's not the case and I have to go back up, then I want to go ahead. I need to go back up at least over 63.88, 89 area. Why is that? Because that area is where we was dropping from before. Like this is your pre-market, this is your bearish fair value gap. That's like a rocket, based on the news, the data. If you're part of the paid members, you guys got a textplex of a text blast into your mobile phone of what happened today in the market in regards to its pre-market and economic data news. Once again, we do have a Discord for our cousins. There's a free side to it where there's channels that you're not going to have access to, but then there's also a paid side to it where you get text messages sent to your phone, alerts of trades to enter, updates on the alerts of trades. So once again, look here. This right here, anybody that was chasing and was going for the downside, they got faked the fuck out. Which is why I always say you wait. Literally as I'm talking to you, ooh, VIX went ahead, and when I was asking you guys, was VIX going to hit 1699 or could it go back to a 1630 area? Right now it's at 1652, but it did hit 1638 and then bounce. So right here, the entry for calls doesn't look bad. We're past 10 o'clock. Just want to see. Once again, 380, 381. Kind of see. All right. Sorry guys, I need music. If you haven't been in my stream, this is looking at charts is kind of like fun, but it could be too much. That quietness and everything's like, So what we like to do is have a little CNBC playing in the background. Hear what they saying. Issues there. Look, Walmart's dealing with tariffs as all our retailers. The CEO, Doug McMillon, talking about on the call how they're seeing the impact on consumers. Listen. The impact of tariffs has been gradual enough that any behavioral adjustments by the customer have been somewhat muted. But as we replenish inventory at post-tariff price levels, we've continued to see our costs increase each week, which we forgot. Expect will continue into the third and fourth quarters. Not surprisingly, we see more adjustments in middle and lower income households than we do with higher income households. In discretionary categories where item prices have gone up, we see a corresponding moderation in units at the item level as customers switch to other items or in some cases, categories. So maybe it's the warning about costs rising as a result of tariffs or the warning on the lower income consumer, but Walmart is taking a lot. So once again, I went ahead and live and direct showing you guys what we go ahead and what we look for. That line of 6381 was enough for me to be like, okay, we're on the upside. Now, when we go ahead and we get into the 6389 and 6399, a little bit of a pickup, but still well below the Fed's target and the overall inflation rate. He said there are areas we've had to raise prices and areas we've been able to mitigate tariffs and completely absorb that. So they will deal with the cost increases, but as I mentioned, they have a lot of scale in order to do that. Overall, the read on the consumer very strong. So yeah, so calls right now will look excellent in regards towards the upside. Once again, we are going down.
Yeah, I think it's about the Fed meeting in September. I think there's a concern that maybe it's not 80% after all, as the odds of a Fed rate cut. If I had to put my own probability on it, it's under 50%. I'll give you 40%. I'm still in the done and done camp. I don't think they're going to cut. And they've got two more inflation numbers, and they got a payroll number ahead of them. And I won't be surprised if the inflation numbers run a little bit hot.
Oh, man. 63.82 with XPX. Once again, from the beginning of the stream, I'll let you know how you look at VIX. I told you, and when we started, VIX was all the way up within this area, like 1686 area when we started. VIX could go, if it passes the 1630. If it goes past 1630 to the 1628 and don't bounce, then it could drop even further to 1603. XPX is at 63.84. You have a supply that open up on your 3-minute. I like a 3-minute. Every time interview is different too. Once again, you have to learn the charts. I teach you this from beginning to end. Meta calls, probably, possibility, going back to that 745, the previous weekly low. Calls from here. I wouldn't jump the gun though. I probably wouldn't be interested in calls. It's an iffy spot. Okay, so this is the thing. With a nice, good entry, I would want calls at 750, 751. Right? But we're trying to catch the reversal. You want to see how it reacts to at least 742-ish. But even trying to catch the reversal, because Meta been down at 742, it may get there and drop back. It may not get to 745. That's why going over and waiting in this area right here where this supply is, I would rather wait over. What supply? Supplies where sellers are. All right, so that zone is where sellers, who are sellers, those are the red candlesticks. Once again, we're at 1631 with VIX. Will we get to that 1628 and underneath it? If so, you're going to pop with XPX. XPX is hitting the 63.89. Once again, calls, as I mentioned, from there look great. So how did I know what to go ahead and do and what to look for? I'm going based off the candles. All right. When we look at candlesticks, we look at the body. Like, first things first, you want to make sure you're looking and have your candlestick set up right. All right. I always say that. If you don't have your candlestick set up right, it can be a little bit confusing. The candlesticks that I use is this one right here. If you look at my screen, this funny name is the candlesticks I use because it shows trend. Now don't chase, but if we could get over the 63.84, 63.85 area, it could get us back to 63.89. 63.89 will get you back to at least 63.99, maybe 64, 64.04. But when you get this, once we get over 6,400, like we get to 64, it's always something. That's the crazy part.
If you feel held back by the weight of navigating financial decisions, we can give you the tools to help you break free from what's slowing you down. Credit Karma gives you personalized guidance to improve your credit, savings, taxes, and more.
Calls would have been good for a scout if you was getting it right from here. Now with us being at 63.83, you kind of like I said, you gotta wait. We're going over that home.
Ask yourself, can I rise every morning to meet expectations and go hard till the sound of the bell? Can I think on my feet and lead with my heart? Am I 100% committed to getting 100% of my kids into four-year colleges? Am I strong enough to shape a child?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, cousin Ingrid. Good morning. I can see you guys comments. You comment. So you have a question, ask it.
Apply to Success Academy today.
Introducing CNBC Plus, the new streaming platform.
So what am I looking for? Once again, I need over 63.84 for me to even think of the upside. All right. If I don't get this 63.84, then I'm not going to get to 63.89.
Direct to consumer, the network's $30 a month streaming service launches today. In fact, it's launched right now. It's bringing its full slate of live sports outside the traditional KTV bundle. Joining me now in a CNBC exclusive is Disney CEO Bob Iger. He's from the company's headquarters in California, and ESPN Chairman Jimmy Pitaro, who did the honors ringing the opening bell. Joins me here, guys. Thanks to you both. Happy to see you live in person, Jimmy. You said this is a defining.
They go that 63.85, and they go 16.30. Once again, if you're trying to trade XPX, entry for calls here. The XPX or SPY or XXP too. So you have other tickers. Lord have mercy.
Really, at the heart of this is more personalization, more interactivity. The app will be enhanced across connected televisions.
Call wise, these calls are expensive today. The 6420, 6425. I'm looking at the broker company Robinhood. So maybe if I could show y'all what I'm talking about, because I'm visual, so this y'all can see.
Mission is to serve the sports fan anytime, anywhere.
There you go.
Bob, you know, it's funny, I noted earlier, I think it's 10 years ago since that August conference call where you first mentioned perhaps some weakness at ESPN, started talking a lot more about cord cutting, and here we are. You know, I'm curious now, what does
so this right here, as of right now, this call, 6425 for today, 0DTE, is running you about $140. Reason why, what I teach you is look at volume and look at open interest on top of your charts. Your charts is always going to tell you, but you knowing how to pick the right contracts is going to help you also. So volume is 21K, open interest is 3K. All right, that's a lot of volume to move this contract. So that would be a good indication. If you had to go ahead and if I had to pick another one, you could go with not only the 6425, but the entry is important. So not only the 6425, the 6420, but your entry is important. 6420 is a little bit more. I'm trying to figure out why I just do that. That's crazy. Yo, what's up, cousin, mister? What's up? Like I said, you tuning in. I can see the comments now. So But when it comes towards what we're looking at for today, if we go ahead and if we're getting this reversal off of SPY or XPX, it's going to go ahead and depend how we react here. Initially we had a pop. If you missed it, the scalping with XPX would have came literally like right here on this candle. But once again, we want to go ahead, and I keep saying we need over this 63.85 to get me to 63.89 and then back to possibly 63.99. But this is the key. Write this down. 6,400. My Discord, the cousins, they already know 6,400 is a crazy like make or break level. 6,405 is another one, if I'm not mistaken. When we watched that mother lover yesterday, this purple line, this 6405, that shit don't play. That 6405 is a strong ass goddamn resistance. What's resistance? The ceiling. When we hit this ceiling, we drop. And we noticed that yesterday, live and direct in our Discord. We was like, damn. So this is what I'm saying. We get over the 63.85, 63.87, you go on to 63.89, then we could possibly go ahead and even get to 63.99. 6,400, I would be probably like, taking profit because around 64.02, 64.05, she could get real. But that's so we playing both sides, y'all. That's the upside. If the downside, I told you I wouldn't be interested in downside. If you came in late, I won't be interested in downside to at least 63, 67-ish. And that's not even me jumping in. That's just me like, okay, we going to the downside. I'll probably be more interested if we get to 63.57 because then I know we get to the previous daily low if we go down. But what am I looking at? And I said it, if you missed this stream from the moment in the beginning, we started with VIX at 1687 area. Once again, I gave you the contract in regards to what we're looking at. This at the time when I screenshot this a couple of moments ago, this call 64.25 is at 141.30. Well, we hit 1603. We're at 1689. You're not called. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you because I grabbed the 640.20. So, like I said, you grab the 64. Well, at that point, it's going up. So the 64.25, 64.20 that I was talking about has went up. If you're looking at me, tell you how to trade, you want to learn how to trade, tap in with the community. Y'all that's in the comments, y'all already in the community. Can you let them know in regards towards what we do? Let them know that we go ahead and we trade XPX. We trade other tickers too. I really want meta, but I kind of want to wait. I don't want to jump the gun. Any of y'all got any XPX? I don't see it. I don't know what's going on. You would have to wait now if you're just tuning in because the entry for me, I got in. I was waiting for 60.83, 60.84. Notice how that bar opened. So I love live examples like this. What do we look for when it comes towards trading? What is she talking about? Look at that bar. I'm on a 5 minute, so this is a small time frame. But I teach you guys the importance of your candlesticks. So when I see a bar like this, that means there's a lot of volume. That means that my green team. So when you see a green candle, it's your green team. When you see a red candle, it's your red team. The green team right now on this 5 minute candle view, I still have 4 minutes and 22 seconds left, right? So I can't assume anything. But as I'm talking to you, the way this candle is, it's a nice bar. When we start seeing a wick come, the wick is coming because the other team is coming into play. Well, who's the other team that I'm talking about? The red team. So the red team is coming into play, and when it comes towards you seeing a wick on a green candlestick. So with that being said, you always want to go ahead and you always want to make sure that when it comes towards your plan, especially as you look and plan the trades on your own, you have to go ahead and you have to make sure it goes over. All right. If you didn't get, so per example, for the person that's just coming in right now, they're just getting in, they're not going to be up as much as the person that if you caught it from the beginning and I was telling you the reversal around 63.84, 63.85 around here, right? We was looking at it, then you'll be up way more. Meta is giving me what I want a little bit.
Does this quicken the pace of cord cutting overall, in your opinion?
Not necessarily, but as Jimmy said, I don't think we really know yet. I also want to point out, as I pointed out on earnings, that we manage our television assets as one business, not as individual businesses, meaning we don't manage it in the linear business and the digital business separately. We manage it as one. It's one group of executives. It's essentially one bottom line because we want to be.
Now, let's say you don't have the opportunity or you can't afford XPX, you could trade XXP only when there's trends. So I say that to say, once again, you have to make sure that the trend is trending. All right. Now, personally speaking, and this is kind of early because I'm teaching a reversal play.
This is a huge step in terms of what ESPN is doing to do just that. We've done it with our other television assets. Now we're doing it with ESPN. And so, we don't know. We've seen obviously significant progression in terms of loss of subs on the linear side.
It hasn't gotten any better, Bob, as you well know.
Mm-hmm.
We keep thinking we're going to be at a bottom, and now I see this. For those who perhaps have been waiting, you could imagine that, well, now I can get what I need from sports, or I can put something together. And now I'm done with the bundle. I would think it certainly doesn't do anything to stem what has been the continued losses for that, right?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything to stem it. We didn't think that we could. That one entity, one company could do that. But I think I also want to point out, as you know, that a number of other companies are exiting their linear business completely, meaning they're selling off the channels that serve the linear television ecosystem. We're doing the opposite, actually. We're combining them.
So from here, from 63.89, we get to 63.91 with XPX. Meta, I'm about to get in freaking calls. Alright, so that's how we gonna do this. Certain days, don't expect alerts. That's what I do. Certain days, which is like on Thursdays, will come live. It's all live trades. Like open, the last time I came, that was a live trade. So if you can't go ahead and you miss the Texas, then at least you'll have the opportunity of getting in on live trade. You gotta watch it. So Meta, I want it over 740, but it is coming with this strong. If we can get over this 742-ish, I'm entering for calls to get to at least 746 and 747. I may even hit 750, but the 760 call for Meta runs you going to run you about $130.
Still has a ton of value, as I said before. On top of that, you would have to be a member of Amazon Prime, Netflix. So I hear you. I don't know about the $1,000. If you were T-Chaw's got one exclusive game, you know what? Is that right? You got to spend another $11 for that.
Once again, I grabbed the Meta 760 call off of, once again, if you came in late, I was talking about Meta. I like it entry-wise over 751 because I would like to get over this little supply zone. But 742. If we get over this set 742.76, I ain't gonna lie, I jumped the gun a little early, so I'm up like 19% when I shouldn't have been. Oh, we had 63.92.
Yeah, but and I hear Jimmy Bob, but I also keep thinking about the price of sports rights, which obviously you guys know better than anybody. Just keep going up. I mean, the UFC just went to Paramount for twice what you guys were paying. You're competing against Amazon. You're competing against Apple. You're competing against Alphabet and Netflix. I guess I just wondered.
Now be careful here. If you wasn't already in and catching your profit, reason why I say that is because VIX hit 1621.
They envy us and the position that we're in, and we have, I think, an enviable position
So
when it comes to television sports. There's always been competition for sports, particularly the most valuable, these led by the NFL and obviously the NBA. I've lived that for decades, actually, in my career, and that's only going to continue. And I think it reflects the value that sports delivers to television viewers and to advertisers as well. It's a fact of life. But I think if I
now,
the rest of the industry, I'd envy the position that ESPN is in, and obviously with the steps that we're taking, whether it's this step in terms of going in the digital direction, or whether it's the new rights that we've licensed, or whether it's the deal that we made with the NFL, we intend to hold our position, and actually, I should say, we intend to grow our position.
we're at 63.91 with VIX. I mean, 63.91 with XPX. I gave out the contract already. I mean, the 64.25 or the 64.20, the price has changed though. Not too much though, but the 64.25 is around the same price. The 64.20, I don't have it on the screen, but 64.20 is going to go ahead and run you about 208. So if that's too expensive for you, you could do XXP. Once again, XXP, but you only could trade that if we get a trend.
Over the next several years, you mentioned the UFC deal. As you know, we just did a fantastic deal with WWE. Feel great about that.
You must have been shaking your head though that UFC deal. What was paid by Paramount?
I know that's right. Thank you guys. Let me screenshot this. Show that. Y'all see that? Screenshot. Show that. You see, we help each other in Discord, literally. Like, we not trying to go ahead. We ain't trying to lose no goddamn money. Goddamn it. Well, I mean, we do lose. So I don't want y'all to think we don't be losing. Goddamn it. Especially them XPXs. Yesterday, I didn't. When I say I took I was out. All right, but I would have went ahead and I did leave a little bit money on it. Not a little bit. I did leave some money or some bread on the table. I ain't gonna lie. But look, profit. Even like sometimes, and I had to go ahead and when me journaling, and I'm being honest, you guys help me. When I go ahead and I take a trade that was before 10 o'clock, I'm going ahead and I'm noticing my mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I journal before, but even at this point of where I'm trading, I still journal. And literally, one thing that was sticking with me was the fact that there was a time I was greedy on a trade that we had. We went up a lot. It was one of those XPX trades. I'm like, oh no, we're going to carry this into the next day. This shit went left, but we ended profit like almost $1,000, and I swung that. That was a lesson I learned. That was like in April or March. Another lesson I learned, actually, I think it was beginning of this month, or maybe the end of the last month, where I got into a trade before 10 o'clock, where we went ahead and was in it, and then 10 o'clock data news happened, and it caused the trade to go left. Wrote that in my journal. I'm not taking trades before 10 o'clock. I may do it, but if I do it, it's not going to be as frequent. And if I do make that trade before 10 o'clock, I know I broke my rule, you know? So that's why I tell people when it comes towards trading, you have to go ahead and you have to be comfortable with taking the trade, seeing exactly what you see, not what you feel. I don't care if you want the trade to go up. I don't care if you want the trade to go down. Put the feelings to the side and trade what you see, not what you feel. We don't assume nothing in our Discord, all right? I never go ahead and let you guys know it's going to be a bullish or bearish day. I don't know what it's going to be. But I could only use my VIX. I could use other confluences, my patterns in regards to what I see. How are the candles? Sticks reacting to the lines that I'm putting on my chart. That's going to let me know what I need to know.
What the pricing will be or what the pricing can be. Our goal today is to launch this successfully, which we're doing.
All right. So give me a second, guys. I'm just making sure. Dun, 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 dun.
Right. So, all right, we'll see. Because that's a percentage increase from $6.99 to $15.99 is obviously not insignificant. And sports rights only going
Well,
up.
I think you have to look at the market, David. You have to look at the market too over that period of time. You know, we launched in 2019. You're right. We sat down in 2019, and the goal was accessibility. We also started modestly in terms of the amount of programming that Disney Plus had at that time, and we think we priced it smartly. We've had the ability, as we've increased programming significantly on Disney Plus, to raise prices, but the market has also raised its prices as well, and we haven't done anything unusual in that regard.
Yeah. Jimmy, I wonder about international, because when I think about the NFL, they're making efforts, obviously, to have games in different parts of the world. The NBA certainly.
Yeah.
Scale is clearly very important here for ESPN. You know, the more the better. How do you view that as an opportunity?
Yeah, it's a great question. What we're doing today is domestic. It's U.S. focused. As we.
So this is a good example, right? We went ahead and we reached this 63. Let's be honest, 63.93, 63.93. Yeah. So somewhere in this 63.93 area, we reached that, and then we got back down to 63.90. Now, what's going to happen is we can't predict the next candle. All right, I can't do that. What I can do though is I'll go back, which you just saw. I was on a 5 minute, so I went to the 3. For me personally speaking, this is for everyone's different, but for me personally speaking, the 3 minute is where I love to go ahead and where I love to see if there's a change. All right, so I don't get faked out, I need to see, all right, the bigger time frames. Let me hit the 30. All right, how are we looking on the 30? And not for nothing, we kind of choppy on the 30. Let me move these in again. That's 6405. Please remember it. 6400 too, but 6405. After what we saw yesterday, don't forget that's a major resistance. Man, and at the moment it hit that motherfucker, it goes down, and I mean aggressively too. Like, whew, y'all had to see it. We saw it. I mean, for people that was able to catch it yesterday, even if you couldn't catch it, it's called bar replay. It's a feature that is on TradingView. This feature right here, bar replay, you have to change your candlestick stuff. That's the only part I don't like about it. But if you play bar replay, it's great. A lot of people have this misconception. I can't trade. I work during the day. Bullshit. You couldn't trade. You plan your trade. Here in the group, we're teaching futures. I have someone that does futures with me. I wish more would do futures, but they sit up here and, being slow about it. And I'm trying to go ahead and get everybody want to stick on one thing. But my issue is some of you guys are not realizing that if we incorporate the other thing with futures, it's going to help you trade better with XPX and SPY. That's why I'm trying to get y'all to trade the futures. That's why I'm so adamant the next 6 months. Honestly, I've been putting it in the Discord since May. We're in August. I would love for you guys to get out your head and be in futures at least by October. Don't waste the next 6 months, and I promise you, you get in the future is just going to sharpen your trading skills. Trust me, I'm not here to lie to you. I'm here to guide you. But once again, you can only go on your own pace, so everyone's different. But I hate when people tell me, "Oh, I just want to get options down." Bruh, you got it. It ain't but much. I mean, what are you looking for? Damn, my meta call, I'm kind of down, which is because I jumped the gun a little bit. I'm kind of damn near break even almost, honestly, because I got in that one early. So don't get in the meta call unless we get over 742, which is what I was saying. Honestly, you may want to wait to 751 because I know from 742 you would get to 745, or when you get to 745, you get to 747 and drop again. So I'm about to my meta call. If he was here earlier, I was up 19. I'm about to be break even, so I'm about to take that as my indication to get the fuck out. But I jumped the gun. I ain't gonna lie, because I should have went with my plan. Should have went over 742. So for now, you shouldn't go ahead, and unless we get over once again this 63.89 area, is going to go ahead and try to push back to that 63.91. $63.94. We got a resistance at. Yeah, 63.93 is your resistance. So scout wise, this was a beautiful scout. If he was here from the beginning, this could go ahead and this could possibly be either two things. Look at this candlestick right here. Either we're getting that reversal, we're coming across 11, or we're going to go ahead and get bounce, and this could be a bull flag. Not saying it is yet. I would need a little bit more indication, but it looks like a bull flag a little bit. It's not the best. But I was just about to say this, the 3. There you go. Look at VIX. VIX is at, which makes sense. VIX hit 1606. Didn't even hit that 1603. Was close to it. Hit 1606 and it came right back up. So when it comes to, I keep forgetting. Sorry guys. I gotta fucking, I don't know why the trading view and keep going to my other account. That subscription. I gotta change it. But I thought I did. I thought I put it back on this account. That's what happened, you guys. I literally have like over 8 trading view accounts. I think it's like 12, honestly, maybe 15. Because sometimes I have to set up trading view accounts, and one of the trading view accounts, the payment method, I thought I put it on. So when it comes towards VIX and what happened, this wick, once again, when you see a wick, the other team came in. You have what's called your sellers, your red team. They have one job to make the price go up. Their opposite team is the green team. They make the price go up. So, I mean, price go up. The red team make the price go down, and the green team make the price go up. When you see that you're looking at a red candlestick and you see a long wick, guess who came in? The green team. They made the wick because they're making the price go up. All right. So once again, they made the wick because the price go up. If we go up in VIX, then we're going down in that of XPX SPY QQQ. So if you wasn't here from the beginning and caught in that profit, or even I don't even think that thing moved because I got another contract. If you wasn't in the beginning and caught the profit, then you're looking at the fact that you're kind of down, depending on where you got in. But what's happening now as we look at XPX, in my opinion, it broke that 63.82. I don't see this being a flag at all, in my opinion. This is a drop. How I know? VIX is going down. VIX is going down. VIX is going up. Just 1659, 1699.
So what am I getting in the morning when I look at my app now? And you're talking about Sports Center that what is going to be AI delivered to me. Tell me that the Mets lost again last night. What do I get?
Well, so look, we've
So put wise.
many years. We've been prioritizing digital at ESPN for decades. What you're going to see, in addition to everything I just mentioned on the squeeze back experience within a connected TV environment,
Mm-hmm.
also yes,
Mm-hmm.
personalized Sports Center. So right content to the right user at the right time. Quick story. Yesterday, Bob texted me, "Hey, Yankees hit 9 home runs again," and I said, "I know. I woke up yesterday. Of course, I was in the test environment."
Damn, I meant this fucking CBS. I got the little mother thing. Shit.
Personalized Sports Center. The first thing I got was a recap of the Yankees game, and I saw those nine home runs. So
CBS is off of Walmart. That just damn. Yeah, CBS. I would want it off of this demand zone.
And we could not be more excited about it. But as Bob said, this is the first inning of these enhancements, and it's the first inning for Sports Center for you.
CBS. See, we may have missed it. I hate the chase. Damn it.
All right. Well, I only want my highlights from my team wins. Can I do that?
Too busy looking at XPX. Forgot about CBS.
There's something being considered internally that gets at what you're describing. Maybe next time we get together, I'll give you the update on that.
Yeah, Bob. It's funny. It's a separate.
So where's CBS now? It's kind of like it's at that previous daily high, 7108. So does it break that and go over it, or does it come down? They have Ernest.
We did have a meeting at the White House with the president.
So you have a demand zone. There's only like $1 move left, probably.
But we also made a point of saying that Disney believes that
Yeah.
AI will be an important part of our future. We're already using AI in every one of our businesses, and we believe that it will, over time, become an important part or important component of how our company operates. But it's also critical that as we migrate into a new world when it comes to technology, that we continue to respect the creative community, and also we continue to be mindful of the impact we could have on our intellectual property, which is essentially the core of our company and what we do and who we are.
Yeah. And finally, Bob, just because the time goes by, I mentioned the 10 years since that first conference call. You remember it well.
So if you want to do, we could scout it, but let me see. Hold on.
You can even take me out 10 years from
They a
now.
good trend yet or what?
I know where I'll be, David. I'll be happily retired. It's an interesting world.
Yeah, I would prefer we drop at least a couple more cents on XPX and SPY. Just because if we're going to do the downside, I want at least like a $2 move.
And we began to prepare for that as a company, making announcements in 2016 and 17 and launching Disney Plus in 19 and doing this today, and that will continue. I think it's hard to project right now 10 years ahead. Things are changing too quickly or too fast to do that. One thing I can predict is that change is inevitable and will continue, and that thus I think it makes it just harder to be predictive about it.
Yeah. I'll assume you will be retired in 10 years. I'm not sure I'd want to take the under over, but yeah, 10 years sounds good. Guys, very much appreciated. Jimmy, thank you for being here. Bob, thank you as well.
All right, let me see.
Interesting conversation. Jimmy Pitaro, Bob Iger, let me send back to you, Sarah.
David, thank you. David Faber, looking forward to talking to you about that on the other side of this break. Big takeaways from David's conversation. What Disney shareholders learned from that interview. Plus, the Fed's Jackson Hole Summit kicking off. We're going to head live to Wyoming for the latest on what Chair Powell could say tomorrow.
I forgot. So yeah, tomorrow's the summit.
Reacting to today's housing data. Got the market under a little pressure off the lows of the morning, though. Squawk on the Street will be right back.
UNH is moving, damn it. I hope nobody got them because I did not get a call. I mean, them puts. Because it never executed. I mean, we never got that trigger. This is why entries matter. So you got into calls on, I mean, puts on UNH. You're on your own. Because I ain't never, I told y'all, do not enter if it don't get triggered. And that was for a good reason. Damn, I want fucking UNH to do that. Because UNH is at that psychological level of 300.
It felt big.
Anytime it gets like to the new hundreds, so every time a stock hits a new 100, it could go off.
You could really throw your hips forward. That's good. I like that.
Does that look natural to anybody?
Okay, cut. That's it. Were we rolling on that?
You said cut.
I did.
Yep. You sure did.
Any way we could get that again?
The mission: sneak inside, give out Pepsi to enhance the food's flavor.
To Will and Diane.
So this is the thing where SPY is at.
Babe, I miss that.
We may drop. Here, let me show you something. Yo.
So many cooks are stuck with a kitchen that isn't working for them. They're going to give you the kitchen that you've always dreamed of.
So where VIX is at right now, right? If VIX doesn't go to 1659 and 1699 area, then we're not dropping. But this is gonna make sense. You look at SPY.
Order for Ariana. There you are. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you work out, lift weights.
SPY lose 636, or at least it's going to get to 634. 633-ish.
CNBC's audience is the most ambitious audience there is. I've raced cars for about 30 years. Car racing is so hyper-competitive, kind of like the financial markets. Competition is a huge part of ambition. Artificial intelligence and electric vehicles, everything we are doing in our lives is going to require huge growth in energy. And as the chief energy reporter, it is the most exciting time I can remember. Sign and make official. Get started at trustandwill.com and make it count.
Meet Omnilux Contour, an LED light therapy mask clinically proven to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. Find out how you can improve your skin at OmniluxLED.com.
For those who perhaps have been waiting, you could imagine that, well, now I can get what I need from sports, or I can put something.
Sorry, y'all, this is Top Step.
Now I'm done with the bundle. I would think it certainly doesn't.
Anybody that's into futures right now, you possibly got a short coming. Possibly. I don't know. You know, don't do it if it's choppy because we passed the opening bell. But in my opinion, what I've been looking and back testing, and you know, it's better. And shout out to our other cousin, that does the trade in futures also. And I feel like she's the only one that's like aboard with futures. But she goes at least active and telling me about it. Some of you guys don't talk, so I don't know what you're doing. But she constantly is letting me know, constantly going ahead and updating me on her progress. If we were to play futures, I like to go ahead and play it in that opening bell if I could. If we do go ahead and you're playing in Q, you possibly have a short. And that's going to be some money from 23.71 to 23.
I think it is interesting that when we want to measure this,
23.271.25 to 23.191.50. So from here to here could be a nice drop.
I think the hope is that they, as Jimmy Pitaro made clear,
nice drop.
New customers.
So my NQES futures traders.
Those who simply are dropping their cable to pick this up, because that doesn't help them in terms of actual growth.
So what's at stake here for Disney? I mean, the stock has done okay. I mean, it's had a good 12 months, up 30% or so. It's off the post-pandemic highs from a few years ago.
Right.
But how much is riding on this?
Well, a lot, because
so this is the thing. We hit this 35.24, 635.24, and 634.34 area. Then you want to get back to your previous daily low at 632.
That we talked about earlier in terms of getting both of those other services essentially for free, so to speak, in terms of paying the $29.99 for all three of them.
63, 35, 24, and 63, 60, 34, 34 is your make or break. Either they bouncing or they're dropping to get to 63, 32.
Whether they have the wherewithal to really compete. And he says, Iger, that they're in an enviable position, but we all know the capability of Amazon, Apple, and Alphabet to spend whatever they should choose to do so on these kinds of sports rights.
Yeah, I loved that bit. I mean, and your question about irrational actors, and his answer was, this inventory is limited, but that kind of, I thought, proved your point, that there's a limited thing that's going to get chased by people, in some cases, with really deep pockets. As for the share price, we know it's trading at levels it was trading at 10 years ago. Some have pointed out that Iger's answers to you kind of were a tacit admission of managing decline on behalf of the whole industry, albeit in this case.
Unless you got that scout from the beginning with Spot, XPX in the morning, well, like literally, it went up like, it only went up like 43% though.
Now, I think the expectation and hope certainly is that with all the different features they're offering in the app, they're going to really have a very strong connection to the ultimate customer for ESPN and be able to sell them. Perhaps there's a lot of other services on top of it.
Stock down 0.5%.
Hasn't really moved. And then you do get to the question, Sarah, about the consumer and what they're just, if you're a huge sports fan, what you have to spend right now to basically be able to see all of your favorite sports.
As we're talking, Apple TV sub price increasing to $12.99 a month from today. We got the news about the PlayStation yesterday, $50 right there. I mean, a couple of those, and services PPI kind of makes sense, right?
They had some must-see TV, so I guess they feel confident that they can raise prices. But on sports alone, I mean, how many networks do you have to have, and how much money do you have to spend?
Again, we did some of the numbers. Yeah, $1,000 if you want access to more or less every NFL game. About $1,400 a year if you want just access to at least all the championships of all the major sports. So that adds up.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, it was a great interview. David Faber, extended interview with the head of ESPN and Disney. Meantime, the Kansas City Fed Economic Policy Symposium starting officially today in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Fed Chair Jay Powell set to speak tomorrow in this hour. We'll bring you those comments live. Let's get to CMU.
Yeah, Jay Powell will speak tomorrow at 10. I'm not streaming. So, I mean, I'll be, if I see anything, I'll alert it, but I'm not streaming.
There's definitely talk in the hallways here about the Lisa Cook allegations, but the more important focus for investors is the speech tomorrow by Fed Chair Jay Powell, and he faces a difficult task. Among the issues that he has to deal with is possibly discussing changes to the long-term strategy that could be announced as soon as tomorrow, presidential and market pressure for a rate cut.
Yo, how many you got on that Yeezy coin? I don't know why people keep, oh my God, I don't know why he keep dropping the coin. I don't even know that's really him. Like, why would y'all get on the Yeezy coin?
Kansas City Fed President Jeff Schmidt telling CNBC that he's open to a cut, but continues to be concerned about inflation.
It seems like that last mile is pretty hard, and I'm one of a lot of folks that believe that there's a real hard, true cost to that last percent of inflation that's in the system. I think that we might see a tick up. I would say that it's probably the inflation number is probably closer to 3 than it is 2, and I think we've got some work to do.
So how does Powell finesse all this in his speech? Well, first of all, let the data talk. There is more data between now and that September meeting that could adjust market expectations for him. Suggest a cut is possible, but not necessarily promise. Not abandon the 2% inflation target, even while the Fed is away from it. And say that perhaps the Fed is still restrictive, even after a 25 basis point cut, and try to limit the expectations to not more than one cut. Futures markets still have an 80% chance of a rate cut in September, but there's a 20% probability of no cut, and that's risen in recent days. So there is some hedging out there in the market that Powell won't very clearly deliver that dovish guidance that markets seem to want. And as you said, Sarah, we'll have it here in this hour tomorrow, the Fed Chair speech live at 10 a.m. Back to you guys.
The minutes were interesting yesterday from the last meeting, because I thought it was very clear, the statement that a majority of participants were more worried about the inflation risk than they were about the job risk. Now, yes, we had a weak jobs report since then, and so the market was all excited that we would get the rate cuts. But Steve, it sounds like from your conversations and with key voting members like Schmidt, they're not so convinced that the job risk is going to outweigh the inflation risk now.
No, and I just like to point out, I love the fact that Schmidt represents this continuum, going all the way back to Bill Poole and Tom Honig and Elizabeth George. I'm sorry.
What about to go the fuck off?
Esther Joyce, right?
CBS, yo.
This continuum of
Damn it.
chairs who been president of Kansas City that have been sort of on the hawkish side, and definitely
But
Schmidt.
this is the thing. I wanted it way, like, what was it, right here?
The job came along, but let's talk about
Yeah,
Boston's
Wednesday I
comments
was
this morning
looking at
from
it.
Atlanta,
I wanted it
where he said
around
changes
69.70.
to the
Yeah, it was
immigration
yesterday.
and the labor force growth.
I thought I
mean
put
that
my
maybe
damn
the
alert.
run rate is 50 to 70,000 to keep the unemployment rate unchanged. So that lowers everything. So in that context, Sarah, the jobs report and the revisions were not really all that weak.
You started off by saying there's chatter about Lisa Cook and these allegations, and as I understand, she's supposed to be there later today, right? I mean, that seems pretty awkward. What are people saying?
I understand what you understand, that she's scheduled to be here. We've asked the Fed about whether or not she is going to arrive, and a lot of people see it as very political, and they wonder what happened, and they're kind of reserving judgment for Lisa Cook to have her say, which I would say is unlike Mr. Pulte and Mr. President Trump, who have demanded her resignation right away. You know, maybe as we talked about yesterday, that it's there and it's a problem and it has to be dealt with, but maybe there's an explanation, and we haven't really heard that. As you know, she said yesterday she would not be bullied into leaving her seat by a tweet.
Yes, and in her statement, I thought
He said she won't be bullied leaving her seat with a tweet. You better write that down. That is a good slogan. I won't be bullied out my seat with a tweet. She better put that shit on her shirt. Working at home. That's a good ass slogan.
And I wonder if the cause has to be relating to their time at the Fed.
So just to let you know, give you a heads up, Donald Trump is trying to go ahead and get Lisa, I think her name is Lisa Cook. I know her last name is Cook. I think her first name is Lisa. Make a long story short, she's on the governor board, I think, for the reserve or something like that. He's trying to go ahead and fire her. Through a tweet. But you can't do that. Like, can't fire nobody no damn tweets, sir.
Yeah, we got to go back to the law books on all these rules.
I did like your comments this morning, Steve, on trying to assess her, would-be legacy one day in her career in full, and not just about this particular episode. We'll see what we get in the days to come.
Yeah.
Steve Leisman and Jackson Hole. A lot more from Steve next couple days. When we come back, Redford's chief Glenn Kelman joins us after this morning's better than expected existing home print.
Ooh. PDD, y'all. So let me introduce y'all to PPD. I introduced a little bit of PANW with the cousins, and I'm trying to teach you guys about Chinese tickers. Now PDD, this may hit home for some of you guys. I don't use this website, but my godsons love it. Temu. Yeah, PDD is Temu. Yep, look it up. I'm lying, I'm flying. PDD is Temu. So, how about half of y'all go ahead, as much of y'all spend on that goddamn website, I think y'all need to add it to your portfolio. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. Once again, PDD is Temu. All right? Like, PDD is Temu? Yeah. So, you should go ahead, and this should be a no-brainer. All right? If you already want to go ahead and you've been using that dumb website, I hate that website, then you will know that this is their actual ticker. So I'll go ahead, and what I like to do is help you guys plan the trade. This was something that it was part of the Chinese tickers that I play anyway, with PANW, PDD. I'm trying to think of another one. Baidu, BIDU, BABA, BABA. So those tickers, I like to call my, Chinese family tickers. And what I like to do is every once in a while, I do play them, if opportunity presents itself. This right here, I've been waiting for it to get over this 121, 122 area. Actually, 122.33. Be honest with you, I'm looking at this for an upside. Possibly going into next week. Reason why? Because once we get to 123, this thing could go off. That's why I've been waiting for it to get over the 122 area. what contract we should be kind of looking at, cousin T. If I was to get into this, if it presents itself, then it's gonna go ahead and PDD, the trade that I'll be looking at. Once again, to give it time. I mean, you grab a weekly today, you better hope and pray this shit pops off. Right? You can't get no chop, none like that. If we grab a weekly that's gonna go ahead and end for that of next week, then you're going to go ahead and like that 130, you're going to be spending like $218. Now that could be a little bit less, if we get this choppiness or we don't really pop. All right. Now, if you want to go ahead and be risque, then that 122 call, which is like right there, that ends tomorrow. This would be like a overnight thing, and you trade. Literally. If you think something's good and you're like, oh, the chart looks good, talk about the contract. What contract you getting in? What will be your entry? What are your targets? That's how you plan it. All right. So if you are going to go ahead and like I said, I don't like the fact that we're talking about it and another group's talking about it. Like I don't do that, especially because I'm live right now. So I don't want to really talk about Hood when we talked about it already and we was in it and we had to get out of it. And like I said, only bands is talking about it right now, so I don't want to really keep talking about Hood. And it's not like ironically you're in a group too, so let's not talk about Hood today before that become a whole war. Oh my gosh, he's talking about Hood. Da, 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 da. I have to cut somebody out, and I don't want to do that to them. Especially for a group that don't know how to trade. But that's neither here or there. So when it comes towards Hood, once again, plan the trade the plan. You could have planned the trade already based on last Friday. But once again, you probably missed. I don't know how you guys missed the text. So
you think the big LLMs, is everyone going to have an LLM model that's going to work?
So when you say Hood looks good for what? Because you missed the upside. So unless you're talking about going on the downside, then yeah. So understand what you're talking about in regards to the fact that you already went under the previous daily low and you're going under the previous weekly low. So if you're saying Hood looks good for the downside, then yes, because Hood don't look good for the upside no more. If it don't passes your 109, 110 area, it's not going up. Hint on why, if you look at your entry on the trade from last Friday, you have to go over 110 to go up. Anytime you go over 110 with Hood, you're going to go ahead and you're going to pop to at least 115, 112. Anytime you break under 105, 104 with Hood, you're going back down to at least maybe the 100, 101. But you got to break under 104, 105 to go to 100, 101 at least. So, just to give you a heads up.
Share some of your views on the landscape. Brian Higgins.
So know your levels. Know what's the upside, know what's the downside.
Disney's new ESPN flagship streaming app launching today. You'll hear what Bob Iger told David last hour about why Disney will not be reporting sub numbers for the new app, and we'll find out what the analyst community thinks about all this.
So let's get off of
that. The CEO of Redfin is here. What this morning's housing data means for buyers and the outlook for mortgage rates with a 30-year fixed.
I like ideas on my own. I don't like to get any ideas from any other group. Because everybody swear, oh my God, like, bruh. But there's any other ticker you want to talk about besides Hood, ironically, because I don't want to talk about it because only bands are talking about it. Let's go ahead and let's talk. Spit it. Anybody, say the ticker. Let's go ahead and let's do it. Meta go on.
You know what they say, Marty. Measure once for the wrong.
Everybody don't all speak at once. Sweet baby Jesus. You got me here for the next 30 minutes. Any ticker y'all want to look at and chart, let me know.
Thank you for getting this.
I didn't. You didn't? I didn't. Well, you should. Okay, I will. Because I earn unlimited 2% cash rewards with my Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. Why so many doorknobs?
Impulse buy. You must see a lot of that.
The Active Cash credit card from
Remember what I said about SPY losing his 60-35.
We can't guarantee closing up shop on time. Still open? I can do one more.
Yes. They're open.
Bix is going back. Ooh! Damn, that was beautiful. I'm like, Bix is going back up. And look at that damn fucking, yeah. Then 17, so now we could possibly be looking at puts. Do I have a trend now? Or no? Is there a trend going? Well, so once again, for me, and I say a trend, unless we're scalping, then it's different. But if we're doing a trend, I need at least $2 or more in the movement, in my opinion, for it to say, hey, we're a trend. If we're just $1.15 up and 80 cents down, then we go up $1.10, then we're back 73 cents down, then that's not a trend. I needed like $2 or more. In regards towards us being a trend. If we lose this 63, 67, or at least 63.74. Let me see, 63.74, 63.74. Oh, 63, 67. I would like to see how we react.
Right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
For whatever.
Once again, I can see the comments. If you have any questions about trading, want to learn how to trade, want to learn futures, tap in. Speaking of, the futures so far. All right, we can do so far. So far also came from that group too. They were talking about this. Bro, you don't listen. So when we were talking about SoFi and that contract, you wasn't listening. What the fuck? Like, give me another two. We're gonna do SoFi, but give me another one. Damn, that ain't part of that damn group. Anyone? Shit, I'll give you one. How about we do AMD? Damn, they don't talk about that. Shit. Like the fuck you giving me shit TJ's talking about. The hell? The fuck? Here in the Discord.
In the U.S., the first phase opens in just a few weeks.
PLTR. Thank you. Okay. Like that one. Yes. Let's talk about some tickers. Gave that. Fuck. I did not mean to change off that page. Gave this one. Did I not give it to in the free trades?
You learn what's different about Dovato. Dovato is a complete HIV treatment for some people.
Yeah, I did. See, I was nice. Gave you Verizon September 19th. When did she give out this trade? I gave out the trade when it was freaking the 18th. When's the 18th? The 18th. Like, nah. I gave out this trade literally, I think it was Wednesday. And it was going to go ahead Monday, actually. Wednesday was yesterday. Ooh. Monday, I gave the trade. I told you what the entry was. What's crazy was Monday, you would have got faked out a little bit. Because if you don't pay attention towards my entries, I give you cushion. You don't just wait for it to hit somewhere and you go immediately in because you're being fucked up. You had to wait wait until we was in between 44.56 and 44.88. Monday, we was close, but it did not trigger. We did not trigger until Tuesday. When I went ahead and I put it in Discord, I let you know the price now was 44.56. We first target was already met, 45.33. All right. So the second target went to 45.33. The second target is 46.
And parental notifications, so you can keep an eye on how they're using it. Still on budget. Control for parents.
Yeah, second target is like 46 something. But the game of the game is we went up. I do expect us to go back up, which is why I gave y'all Verizon. Please add Verizon on your trade of tickers that is cheap to trade. All right. You could go ahead and you want to learn swing trading, you can with Verizon, and it's small account friendly. So like I said, now it's cheap to trade, small account friendly. It's definitely good to swing. This is not a ticker that you will see me trade often. And if it wasn't for you guys in a one-on-one that you had, I had a one-on-one, and one of the questions that she asked was, what can I start doing and what tickers can I look at that are small account friendly? All right. I don't know why she didn't want to do the 200 to 3K challenge. She said it herself, like she should have done it. She kind of is sad that she missed out on it. But hey, I can't make y'all do the challenge. Because anybody that has done the 200 3K challenge that I have spoke with, that have booked their one-on-ones, not one person is not under 1K or at least 1K. If you did this 200 to 3K challenge since we started, we started in middle of July, but the trades alerts didn't start happening until the ending of July. It was like July 26th, July 28th. So if you did that challenge from $200 to 3K challenge that we're doing, it's no way you're at $400 or $500. No way. And I text you guys that if you are, please respond back to me because something's wrong. Everyone that has done this 200 to 3K challenge and you've been consistent and ain't taking your profit and you really been building up that portfolio and once again, I tell you guys, you should have more than one brokerage company. So we use Robinhood a lot, but some people use Webull or some people use Think or Swim. So whatever brokerage company you use a lot, that's the brokerage company that you should not be doing your challenge on. You should be doing a challenge on a brokerage company that you don't use a lot so you can really see the benefit of it. When you're doing a challenge and you're taking the money out, you go ahead and withdrawing, you're kind of cheating yourself. Your real good challenge is done when you're literally using the broker account and you're only taking trades on that brokerage in regards towards the challenge. The ones that are doing that, they could actually see their progression. The ones that are dipping in and out of the challenge, taking some trades, they don't know where they're at with it. And for that alone, I'll be doing another challenge. But I'm trying to focus on this challenge particularly. So this is why I'm really big on entries, taking our profit, leaving the profit, whatever the case is. But Verizon is one that we're trying to get back into at least 455, 56 to get us back to 446. Planetar, great one, cousin. That's the one that we had a V. So with Planetar, you're going to go ahead and we probably have the upside coming. So I'm glad that you pointed this out. With Planetar, what you want to go ahead and do is you want to understand that I want over 157, 158. If I could get it, right? And I'll explain why. We went ahead and we had a reversal. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I caught this. Well, let me be honest. I caught it the reversal because somebody on, was it Tuesday or yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, Wednesday. Somebody, their one-on-one, they went ahead and they was planning the trade a plan to get paid. They was using the checklist. The trade plan literally works. Some of you guys use it, some of you guys don't. Some of you guys stop using it. So that's the thing. I feel like you guys felt like you're maybe I don't need to use the trade list no more. You don't know what's going on. I still use the trade list. I made it like for a reason. So I said that to say this person, because they was in the Discord, we was talking about the fact that I said we still had a little opportunity for a downside, which did come as of yesterday. That's why I was telling people in our Discord when someone was like, "Oh, it's on a discount." I'm like, "Yeah, but for me, I'ma still wait." All right, you are not supposed to buy something when it's discounted, and then when you buy it, it's going back down, especially share wise. All right, so when it comes to shares, I always tell people learn and see if there's more downside. And sure enough, on Monday, somebody in the Discord, or on Tuesday, somebody in the Discord was like, "We're on a discount with Planetar," and I said, "Yup, I got my retracement levels. When I'm buying, there's still more downside." He's like, "Well, you think it's still more downside?" I'm like, "Yes, you would know that if you was able to read the chart." The chart told me Tuesday that 162 was all I needed for the downside. I didn't catch the downside. I caught the upside with the cousin. All right, I didn't alert it. I didn't do anything. Once again, that was their trade. Usually, 9 times out of 10, every one-on-one I have with you guys, you get a trade plan. That's just how it is. I teach you and you get a trade idea live and direct. I give you your own trade idea, all right? Or you come to me with a trade idea, and then we break it down together. The person did the other day with Amazon. Beautiful. I didn't get in that one, but they was already in it. Beautiful trade. How they playing that with puts. When it comes towards this person with Planetar, same thing, opposite way that they knew that this was already down. It had to come up. They know and they look at their V's. And literally yesterday, when we got on a one-on-one, it was like, Cousin T, am I wrong in thinking that it could be calls? I'm seeing a bullish. You're not wrong. All right. For some reason, some of y'all want me to get in the trade with y'all. I don't know why, but I guess you feel confident when I'm in it. I don't know. So he was like, "Yo, can we go ahead? I want to get in this trade. Can I execute it? Let's execute it." The person is printing right now because their entry was around what I think. What did we do? 146, 147. The thing is at 156. Once again, when you guys plan trades or you talk to me about trades, I don't want you guys to feel like I take your trade and give it out to everybody else, or because that's your work. But at the same time, I do go ahead and sometimes, like with Walmart, especially if I had a bit, it's a trade that I'm looking at already, or I already had it with a one-on-one, I will tell you about it. That with Planetar, because it was a back-to-back one-on-one, I literally had to get on another one-on-one. I didn't have time to tell you guys about it, whatever. But now that our other cousin has talked about it, I would love for it to continue over 157.54 because Planetar has been down for a while. And if we could get over that 157.54, we're definitely seeing 160 and 162. All right, that would be your upside. What will go ahead and be your contract for the upside to help you with that planning will definitely go ahead and be your. Give me 1 second. So for Planetar, if we were, because right now, kind of choppy, but we were to go in the calls.
We're back in a couple of minutes.
Crypto Watch is sponsored by Crypto.com.
I'm dying. If we were to go in the calls, then give me a second. Ooh. Sorry, we was to go into calls. It's risky, but it could work for tomorrow. That 160, but I need confirmation like a motherfucker. We going over 157 and hitting 160 to get the one for, because the one, and I'll show you guys. This one I'm talking about for tomorrow is crazy, but I would prefer just to have some peace of mind and to be safe to get a 170 for next week.
Shop Etsy for original items from small shops that
So it's up to your discretion how you want to play that. But great, but that's the upside. Now, what's the downside, Cousin T? The downside is if we lose 152, you pick out your own goddamn put side. Look at the contract. If we lose 152, then I'll be like, all right, I'm kind of interested because then we could get 152 if we lose it, and then how we react to 147, 148. You know, if we keep dropping the 147 area and we lose that, then we go into the previous daily low. So upside, you need over 156, 157. Downside, if you get under 152, that would be like an indication you're going down. But I would be interested in the downside. I'm not doing a put unless I get under 147.97. Once again, 152 would be like, oh my God, we're going down. I'm not jumping the board yet. I would like to see how we react to 147.97. I need room. All right, if we go down. But if we don't and we go up, I want over 157 to bring me to the monthly high, 160.86. That was last month high. And then the week low, last week's low was 162. So I want to go ahead. I want to get that going on that aspect. And the contracts that you look, this is the upside. You do your own homework and plan the put side.
We're getting you a better deal because at Marshalls, we believe that everyone deserves the good stuff. Hair shedding, it's so much more than what you see on the outside. It's a reflection of your work stress, aging, nutrition, everything that's going on in your life.
So once again, this is for next week. You're running about $135. What I teach the Black Panthers of Crypto on Wall Street, the cousins, is how to go ahead and how to plan a trade a plan, and get paid. All right. Don't you steal that? I literally have a lawyer working to go ahead and get that copyright. Because in the trading community, y'all like to steal shit. So that has already, paperwork has already been done since 2024. Trying to get that trademark, that slogan, plan to trade the plan, and get paid. All right. So if you do want to use it, the moment I get this trademark, you want it, I'm gonna cash your ass out. But nevertheless, that's something that's gonna go ahead and August 29th gives you wiggle room. I teach you guys about volume. That volume is 8,411. Open interest is 11K. Over 11K actually. 11,775. What's open interest? Your pending orders. Your orders that could possibly go into your volume. Orders stuck in queue. These orders are orders that basically open interest. I need you to know that when we look at that and that number is high, we like that. All right, that number is higher than the volume actually. That's one of the things that I call chef kiss. That when I see a contract and the open interest is higher than the volume, I love it. Now don't get me wrong, if the open interest is lower than the volume, I'm not going to bypass it. I use other factors in regards towards looking at that, but I want you to be honest. When we look at this, the delta is 0.18. The name of the game when it comes to the delta is that we wanted to go ahead and get as close to a +1 as possible. We're kind of low on this delta. There's some people, and this is what I mean, delta right here, where you see the Greeks. Some people do not like it if the delta is not 0.4, 0.5. What the fuck is delta? It makes the contract move. Gamma and delta are girlfriends and boyfriends, girl and boy, boy and boy, girl, whatever, homo, hetero, whatever the hell you want to be. They love it. They fucking real bad, okay? All right. So gamma drives delta. Just understand they go together real bad like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So gamma drives delta. Delta is what caused us to get money in our contracts. When we look at a call, we just want to get to a +1. So you see where it says 0.18. Usually when we're making money, as we're making money with this contract, it's going to get from a 0.1879 to a 0.2, then a 0.3. It's going up to hit 1. That's the name of the game. We want 1, right? What happens is there's some people in the trading world that will tell you, I'm not going to get into this contract because it's not over 0.4 yet. Because they understand that as it gets closer to that 1 area, they have that wiggle room. So there's some people that will bypass on this. I'm not that person. You know, I look at the other characteristics of the contract. If you want to be risque and we want to do tomorrow, then we would go ahead and look at the volume as 55K, 20K. We would enter that 160 for tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna run you about 158, 160. It was like 140. So that would be an entry because I'm getting off at 15 minutes. I'll let you guys know in the Discord. UNH, I'm thinking about entering. It already went over 305. So UNH. Both of these would not be part of the challenge, just so we can be clear, especially UNH. But UNH is going to stop playing with me. UNH, you're going to stop playing with me, ho. All right? So, you've been, understand, I've been trying to get this motherfucker. But with UNH, what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm looking at that 310 call for tomorrow. It's going to run me about 170, 166. I need to see how we react to the previous daily high. I mean, getting in now off of the demand could fake me out, but I really want to see how we react because I feel like that 307 is going to get the push to get me to my previous weekly high at that 309, 310 area. So, what's your entry, Cousin T? Don't wait for me. We need over 307.22 to get into that 310 call. All right, so the 310 call is needed if we're going to get over 307. The Planetar, that 157 is needed to go ahead and get into that 160 call. I say this again, 157.54. Between 157.54 and at least give yourself that wiggle room, 157. Let me see.
With hundreds of sales every week, eat well for less at Whole Foods.
Hey, give yourself some wiggle room. So between 157.54 and 158.72, that's enough wiggle room of an entry if we go ahead and we get that upside. If we go ahead and do so, we get into the 160 call. If we get into this 307.22, then we get into that 310 call. These are kind of like weekly, so the name of the game is we're getting profit, taking profit, and that's it. SoFi, the October 17th is going to go ahead and be great once again. I will wait for a pullback a little bit because SoFi did go ahead and it's pulling back already, but it didn't jump off yet. So that's kind of like now would be a good entry in regards towards saying to yourself, am I doing October 17th, $25 call, or do I have enough guts to go into that leap and get the $25 call for next year, the 16th of January? Once again, you're going to spend bread, but there's no way you're not making the money back. If you tell me, and I'm telling you right now, if you're following me on YouTube or you're following me on TikTok, this your cousin T. I'm giving you a freebie on SoFi on a $25 call for October 17th, the option trade, and then SoFi, the $25 call for next year. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and let me put this up. You lose out on that SoFi call for next year. Come see me, and I'll personally give you your damn money back. That's how I know you ain't losing. All right. So tell me you lost, and I want to see your whole when you got in. I want to see the broke everything. Tell me when you lost. That if you don't make money back on that $25 call for January 16, 20. We're only human. There's going to be days where you're going to miss that $20 or $25. There's going to be days you forgot to put it up. All right? That's only happens because, once again, we're humans. All right? But I guarantee you, what I used to do, and the person did it too, I don't try to miss no more than 4 days. If I miss 4 days, then I'll just go ahead and put it, to the side. All right, for me. For her, she says she don't try to miss no more than 3 days because then she feel like it's a little bit overwhelming. It's more money she got to put out. So for me, I told her that's cool because I know when I was working and I was doing this and I had a job, I tried not to miss more than 4 days. All right, because every day you have to put up either 20 or 25. There's going to be days you're going to skip. Cool, but make sure you go ahead and you replenish the days that you skip and put that shit up. If you gotta put it in a shoebox, which is I'm playing, don't put your shit in a shoebox. But if you gotta put it on another account, on another savings account, wherever you do, put that $25 up. So by the end of the month, you have $900. If you do 30 and 35, you have definitely about $1,000, a little over. All right, so that is possible when it comes to a trade, and I'm going to show that with the Black Panthers of Crypto Wall Street. I've been trying to do this all summer, but now September, we coming down into the fall. I'm going to show you guys you can save up money. I don't want to hear you ain't got $20, $25 a day. That's some bullshit. You got it. I'm gonna show you got it. And then if you want to do October 17th, that's going to go ahead and that's going to be a trade. But once again, you're going from October 17th. This is a good trade. If you want to look at it, the delta is already at that 0.4 that most people in the trading community talk about. Some don't. It's up to your discretion. It's already got open interest of 12K, way higher than the volume at 1,000. Once again, this October 17th, $25 call. Don't tell me you lost money on that one. But I want you to go ahead and tell me you lost money on the other one. Because there ain't no damn way. All right? You spending this amount of money that I'm not in the game for you to lose. But you are going to have to understand, you do trades like this, you have to be able to stomach the red days. All right? You're not going to have a trade where you won't constantly be going up. That's not possible. All right? So, without that being due, got 3 minutes. Anything you got to say, let me know. Right, I'm out. Outie. Maybe I'll come back for Power Hour. Maybe not. It may be just for the Discord for Power Hour. If the Discord want to act right. All right, y'all. I'm out. Any alerts, I'll go ahead. I'll let you know. I'm still trying to go ahead and that UNH or PLTR. I didn't get into none of them. Once again, I told you what the plan was. But if I get in those entries, I'll let you know, and it'll be discorded to the pay members. All right? All right, guys. See y'all.